Tracy, and today I'm going to be doing the second part of my Kaalia EDH deck tech. I will list the first part in the description box below if you did happen to miss that. But yeah, let's just talk about creatures. I tend to get really excited about creatures and I talk a lot about creatures, so I like to split these in two parts. I don't know how people can do EDH decks in like half an hour. It just blows my mind. I try and I just find myself constantly talking about cards. Okay, cool. So the first one is Angel of Serenity, and I am someone who is so removal happy in decks where I run too much removal, I feel sometimes. And having creatures that act as removal, like I've done videos on that, because creatures who act as removal are like amazing because they have a big butt and then they like kill things. It's great. And Angel of Serenity exiles things, which is awesome. So yeah, they kind of like tuck away under her, and then when, you know, she gets removed, those creatures go back. But guys, it's like a 7 mana 5/6 flyer, which is amazing. It ETBs, you exile 3 creatures. Like, come on, the card is just great. How could you not love this card? Oh, so good. One of my favorite angels, like, of all time. Another one of my favorite angels of all time is Angel of the Dire Hour. Oh, I love this card. I love this card so much. I can't even say enough great things about this card. I've blown so many people out of the game before because they're like, like swing in, and I was like, Angel of the Dire Hour, exile all of your creatures. Oh, card is so good, guys. I love this card. I need to do a video on like my favorite angels because it's gonna be such a hard video, but I love angels. Okay, cool. Not an angel, but a demon. Archfiend of Depravity. I actually remember when I had my Mughis God of Slaughter deck and I ran this card in here because it was all about sacrifice, and oh my gosh, like, it's so freaking sweet, guys. It's like a 5 mana 5/4 flyer, which is stupid. On top of that, each opponent's on step, they choose up to 2 creatures and then sack the rest. Like, seriously, you don't want your opponents to have creatures because you want to make it so you're playing all of these sweet creatures and you don't want them to block because you want to kill them, obviously. So, this card is just so good. It's such a sweet removal card. I love this card. Okay, then Aurelia of the War Leader, which just may be one of the most important cards in this deck because, you know, triggering this with Kaalia again, guys, is just amazing. Like, the fact that, you know, you get to Kaalia again and get something again, which is great, and getting an additional combat phase is great. You know, there's some of these angels, demons, and dragons which you can trade off. I argue that you can't trade off Aurelia because she's too important. Having that extra combat, having those more points of damage, triggering Kaalia again, just come on, it's great. Aurelia is amazing. Another really important angel is Addison. I mean, having Indestructible is like, what, the best thing ever? Seriously? Another way to protect Kaalia. And having, you know, an 8/8 with flying and vigilance, take a couple smacks from Addison, you're probably not going to live too long, so yeah. Tailfire Dragon. This card makes me remember why I miss this deck so much because, guys, Tailfire Dragon. One of those cards that straight up just blows your opponent out. I mean, really, a 7 mana 6/6 flyer is great. Deals combat damage, deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. I just realized throwing a Rogue's Passage in the thing is not a bad idea because then you can Rogue's Passage Tailfire Dragon or Rogue's Passage Kaalia. That's a really good idea. I should actually throw that in here before it'll be in the deck, but I didn't put it in right now. I'll definitely throw that in there. And I'll type it now. What card did I say? Rogue's Passage. Card's great. I love Rogue's Passage. Anyways, Tailfire Dragon. Nuts. Card's great. Okay, you know something. This card I don't know if is needed in this deck, but I was trying to think of sweet cards, and Baneslayer Angel. I mean, really, this is like, guys, again, one of my favorite angels, like, of all time, period. This card is just nuts. Guys, it's like a 5 mana 5/5 flyer, which you already had me. Then it's got First Strike, then it's got Lifelink, then it's got Protein Strike. It's like just everything. This card is just everything. It does everything. It's great. I love it. And the art is just to die for. Oh my gosh. Okay. One of my favorite cards, angels of all time, actually, is Bassandra, Battle Seraph. Guys, this card is incredible. Please do not underestimate this. Players can't cast spells during combat. Yeah, so it hurts you potentially a little bit because you can't, you know, have all those sweet instants. It hurts you like a little, but can really shut down your opponent if they're playing any sort of blue deck. Really, where they're playing counter spells or anything like that, forget about it. you know? It just really shuts down your opponent during that. And targeted creature attacks this turn available can be a really, you know, dangerous type of thing where you have a wall of creatures and then you force, you know, your opponent to smash into your creatures, especially if you've got vigilance. Like, Bassandra's amazing. Okay, cool. You know, I resisted the urge to throw this card in here, but I felt like I had to. Desecration Demon, because someone had mentioned this in some deck tech, and I don't remember what, and I was like, guys, I love Desecration Demon. It's so sweet. I mean, it's a, you know, 4 mana 6/6 flyer. What's not to love about that? And then, you know, forcing your opponent to sack a creature, or, you know, if not, you know, getting +1/+1 counters on it. Like, come on. Card is just great. Okay, cool. This card is super mean and very aggressive, but I suggest you run it. Desecration Angel. The best thing to do with Desecration Angel is to have Addison on board, because then all your stuff's indestructible and then all of your opponent's lands get destroyed. Or, you know what, sometimes you just have to let that happen and you destroy your lands in the process, and you can see who rebuilds the fastest. And sometimes if you have, like, Kaalia and a bunch of other cool stuff, you know, sometimes that's just game over because you have a really big threatening board presence and your opponents can't do anything. Card's really good. You know, I actually saw this card on a lot of people's lists, and I'm not surprised because Battalion is a great mechanic, and in this deck, you know, Fireman Avenger, you know, in this deck, getting 3 creatures is not really an issue, because you're going to be having Kaalia and you're going to be having some other sweet, you know, combination of creatures. Whenever this and 2 other creatures attack, deals 3 damage to our creature or player, and you get 3 life. It's very basic, but a really strong contender. I really like this card. It's also a little bit mana-wise cheaper than some of the other cards, because Angels, Demons, and Dragons tend to cost a lot of mana, so sometimes you need to hard cast your stuff, like I said. So, card's really good. Another really important angel is Gisela. Again, I argue I don't think you can part with this card in this build. I think you need Gisela, because dealing double damage and taking half damage, come on, that's just incredible. Yeah, she's mana cost-wise a lot. She really is, but she's totally worth it. Okay, and then did I run the combo in here, right, with Gisela, and I always forget the other one. Guys, so I actually messed up a little bit. I am running Gisela the Broken Blade. I'm gonna stuff it in there. Bruna, I forgot to run that, but if you are gonna be running one, definitely run the other. I just forgot actually to include it in my list, but just ignore that. It's gonna be on there, and I'm gonna have more cards, but just ignore me. Oh, I can actually probably cut a land, so never mind, I'm fine. But yeah, Gisela. I'm a huge fan. I run Gisela and Bruna in my Angels EDH deck tech, which I've never really gotten them off on the same field at the same time, but they're both strong contenders on their own. Just having them together is like stupid amazing. But yeah, she's a really great body, and then having them and then getting Brizella is great. Yeah, great cards are great. Okay, then Havoc Demon. I feel like people get super scared of all of like the oh wait, is it this card? Oh, no. I'm thinking of like those sneaks that when they die, they do dangerous stuff. They're kind of similar, but Havoc Demon is great. I mean, really, when it dies, you know, getting -5/-5, it's really good to try to trap your opponent, I would say, because you can like, you know, have this come in and with Kaalia, and then, you know, your opponent's like, well, you know, they either take that bit of damage, take that 5 damage, or, you know, kill it, and then a lot of the board can be blown up. So yeah, card is really great. Then Iona, and you know something, Iona is a super mean card, and I totally understand that, and some people are very turned off by it because they don't want to be that aggressive, and I totally understand. I run it in Angels, and I only really use it to be very mean when I kind of need to be, when there's no other answer and I'm like, well, I have nothing else, you know, if I don't do this, I'm gonna die kind of thing. So I don't personally like to use Iona when my opponent's on a monocolored deck. I think that's very rude. I wouldn't do that, again, unless my opponent was gonna win the next turn, you know what I mean? But I tend to not be that person in EDH, I really don't. Some people do, and some people have no problems with that. It's just not how I play personally. So I understand why certain people would definitely not want to run this card, but again, I think if your opponent's running like 2, 3, 4 colors, whatever, it's fine. Card's great. then Karmic Guide, a little bit of recursion. I don't like to throw a ton of recursion into my decks because I already do that in one of my decks, my Tassiger deck, a ton of recursion. So I try to stay away from that. You can totally do more recursion if you want to, totally up to you. I think Grave Recursion is fantastic. Like I said, I just don't like to do it in multiple decks of mine. I try to do very different things. Yeah, getting something back is just incredible. Card is great. Another card that can be very mean depending on your matchup is Linvala, which, whoa, this card dropped in price. That's actually really crazy. Again, it depends on the matchup. This can be a card that you can easily slide out depending on what your opponent is playing, if you're someone who's very aggressive. But yeah, this card is just really good. I mean, it stops a lot of what your opponent, you know, is trying to do. Great card. Okay, now we get to one of the best cards in the entire deck. If you're building Kaalia, you need Master of Cruelties in your life. It's worth the $7, I promise you, because it's an instant win. It's an instant win with Kaalia and Master of Cruelties because, you know, when it's not blocked, their life total becomes 1, and then you Kaalia for 2. So it's an instant kill, basically. And it's just really good. Again, you really need the Rogue's Passage in here to make this just incredible. Okay, then Obnixilis, Unshackled. Again, I think this is a card, a slot that you could probably play around with because it depends on your matchup, but, you know, I noticed a lot of people, they're searching through their deck, they're tutoring a lot, so, you know, punishing them for doing so is really great for, you know, having them deal 10 life. And whenever another creature dies, you know, getting a thing. Like I said, your opponent's going to be running so much removal, and you're running a lot of removal, so, you know, Obnixilis is just a really great card. Another demon is Reaper from the Abyss. Oh, this Morbid is so great. I mean, this card can just get really big really fast. It's just a really aggressive type of card. It doesn't really do anything, but it's also got flying, and card is just really great. Then we have Restoration Angel. I love Restoration Angel a whole lot. I really like it because it coincides fantastic with Kaalia, because your opponent goes to target and you're like, Restoration Angel. Keep in mind, you can't do your other angels, just very important thing to keep in the back of your head when you're selecting if you want to run this card or not. But, you know, any of your demons, any of your giants, or really just if not for the sole fact of Kaalia, just targeting Kaalia to protect her from some sort of removal, really good. Then we have Ryudong Bringer. Again, a little bit of graveyard recursion. I think it's really important in this deck because your opponent's trying to kill your stuff a lot, and you're going to be killing the board a lot because you run a lot of board rips and you run a lot of removal. So yeah, I think Ryudong Bringer is really important. And then we have Runescar Demon. This is really good with Restoration Angel as well. Another really sweet synergy. But yeah, Runescar Demon is just amazing. I mean, tutoring is really great, and you know, there's so many good things that you could get, you know, tutoring for Master of Cruelties, tutoring for like anything that you need. I can't say enough good things. Card's great. Funny, this is one of the very few not angels, demons, and dragons. That's Solemn Simulacrum, which honestly you could probably just cut because you run so much mana acceleration and you may even not be running a ton of basic lands, but I like Solemn. I've always really liked this card, and you know, Dies Drawing card. It's just a nice blocker. Then we have Steel Hellkite, and this is one of the cards that whenever like one of my friends plays, I know I need to like get off the table immediately. Getting that buff, sometimes you just make Steel Hellkite really, really big and then swing, which is sweet, if you've got nothing else to do with your mana. And then destroying non-land permanents equal to, with converted mana cost, where combat damage was dealt. Yeah. Card, it's just really good. It's like a mini board wipe, which I really like. Yeah, card's great. Then we have Stuffy Doll because I'm running the combo with this and Pariah Shield, which is not an infinite combo, but I mean, kind of is an infinite combo if your opponent can't get rid of it. And then yeah, dealing damage to your opponent and having the indestructible thing where all damage goes to Stuffy Doll. It's really good. Then we have Sunblast Angel. I love this card. Absolutely love this card. I run it in Angels, and it's just really, really sweet. You know, it's this and Angel the Dire Hour just like so sweet because you're just like, oh sweet, you've attacked me with all your things, Sunblast Angel, just destroy tap creatures. It's great. Then we have Tauriel, and I've actually never thrown this in any like deck list or anything like that, but I love Tauriel. My friend Dimitri actually has a Tauriel deck, and she is just a great creature. You know, she's got flying and she's got vigilance, and I really love the vigilance because then you can use the ability, which is great. You choose a creature card at random, and then you put it, choose a creature card at random, and you put it on the battlefield. You know, it just works really well with the sort of aggressive strategy that you're trying to do, and using your opponent's graveyard against them. Okay, guys, we're almost there. Thundermaw Hellkite. I like this card a lot because it's like, it deals 1 damage to creature with flying, but you know what? You just tap creatures. You just get to like tap those creatures. And you know, it's got flying and it's got haste, and it's only 5 mana for a 5/5. Like, it's a great body, does a lot of great things. And the last card is Vara Hellkite. Oh my gosh. Okay. One of the most threatening cards in this deck because it threatens to pump out like 6/6 dragon tokens with flying. And it's whenever a dragon you control attacks. So keep in mind, this card, it only says whenever a dragon you control attacks, so it synergizes like great with itself, but like you may want to have more dead dragons. I don't run like a ton of dragons because mine is primarily angels, but it's still a great card on its own to have 6/6 dragons for free, basically. So yeah, guys, that was it. That was it for this deck tech. Let me know what you guys think. It's a super fun deck, so I hope you guys like it.